Oh, okay, it's Quantum Burst on the 5th of December, and I've been talking about Hunter and Hayden. I'm trying not to call them the boys or the twins because I've decided that that's objectifying and labeling.
Mm.
Isn't that a curious thing?
Hmm.
But yeah, I came home just tired, exhausted. Part of that was I'm trying to take care of my mom, you know, while we're there. She doesn't need to be taken care of, but something energetically that happens. And tomorrow I'm in training all day for another one of the outward inclusion. I'm going to be certified at the end of tomorrow in being able to teach some of this leadership stuff. So I'm pretty excited about that. But then Thursday morning at like, oh, dark 30, I'm off to Ohio for a weekend. So it's kind of a little bit of a nuts.
Ooh.
I said to, maybe I said to Kate, I said to somebody, I said, I did not book in enough recovery time this time. But it's all good.
And it's going to be cold in Ohio.
It's going to be cold in Ohio. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm trying to see our friend. Some of us know Sally. I'm trying to see Sally.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
And
good.
hasn't quite worked out because she just had total knee replacement, so she can't come to me.
Mm.
And I'm about an hour from her, so I'm still.
Say hi for us.
I will for sure. Yeah, we'll share pictures. Yeah. So that's me. How are y'all? All at once now.
Yeah, I'll start because I don't remember how much or what stage we were in this discussion last time, but there's been decisions made and I'm actually moving on January 10th.
Ah,
Where are you going?
I'm not far. It's only about 2 miles down the road, but it's a house sitting job for 6 to 9 months.
oh,
And so it'll be free. And and they just need somebody to take care of the house for them. And I explained that they were looking for, they've had house sitters before, but they weren't people that really knew how to take care of a home, or there were things that was happening and that they didn't really like. So they were looking for a professional house sitter, and contacted a friend of mine who is also a pet sitter and a massage therapist. So we trade a lot of when I need a backup and I don't have one, I call her and she does that with me. So I've done some of her clients, she does mine. And we're like really good friends, but we never get together, never see each other do things. We just really respect each other. And so, so she knew how I felt about this room. And so when somebody actually approached her and she said, I can't do it the way my jobs work. It just wouldn't work for me to have to get all the way over there. But I know somebody else, and then they were thrilled. And then when they met me, we were even happier, and it seemed like it could work. And so they understand that I do stay at other people's homes. And it's just that they want somebody there to manage the house, just to make sure it looks lived in and bring in the mail and that kind of stuff. But there's no pets. It's just the house. Wow. And it's design wasn't designed for this, but the house, when you walk in the front door, you're actually up on the second level. The first level is under the main part of the house. So I'll have the main part of the house. There's a living room, a very big dining room. Both have big glass door windows overlooking with it out to a big deck and a beautiful view. And the kitchen is it's a 1970s house, and they haven't done much work on it. So it's not, but it works for me because it's still a step up from where I'm at right now. Actually, I was talking with my housemate. So this is a 50s house and she's done some work on it, but not, it's all her work that she's done. She's not done renovating kind of stuff. So, so anyway, tiny kitchen, but all the appliances and all of that have been updated. And the thing, I went into the bedroom, and she said there's a bedroom and another room that I could use for an office. And I was like, yay, an office. I'm going to have it separated from my room. But they're both tiny rooms with a very little window. And I thought, this isn't going to work for me for an office, you know. But the guy, oh, and they have a handyman who's their nephew, but he's in his 30s, and he does all the gardening outside, takes care of that. And if anything were to come up, meeting a guy, you know, a handyman kind of guy, he would be there. So he was giving me the tour, and so we were talking about it, and it was like, yeah, you know, this dining room table, this is the perfect place because it has a big window and a beautiful view, and it's just me. I can do it however I want. So it's just exciting to me to be able to have a space like that. And then we'll see what happens, you know. And so then the concern then was telling my housemaid, and how is that going to go? And she's actually was just diagnosed with some cancer that she had has come back. It's in her leg, and she needs to have a surgery. They're going to have to really cut open her leg again. And so it's actually working out really well because she would like to have the room available for a caregiver. So God's timing, you know, it's just amazing. You know, it's just, I feel really blessed, and I'm feeling really excited. Actually, I was really interested after Brooke is my friend that recommended me. And I called her after they were starting to say they wanted me to pay part of the utilities and stuff. And so I called and I said, I need help just brainstorming this. And no, I lost my train of thought. What was I saying about Brooke? Well, if it was important, it'll come back.
About paying some utilities as opposed to receiving payment.
Right. And so it was about the negotiations. Well, I was talking to Brooke about that because I don't remember, but the primary point is that she really supported me in holding out for what I wanted, and that I didn't have to say yes to take, you know. So I told them we left some things open to discuss later, but we did agree on that we would work it out so that both of us were happy, you know, that all of us were happy. So, and I made it very clear that my preference was that I don't want to pay anything because I'm planning on using the money for other things. So, and it's my time to, so the thing about how long it is. So Jean, who's my housemate, ended up agreeing, you know, if in 9 months, if I want to move on, I can, but if I need a place, we'll see. It might be open here too. So fascinating, just fascinating how much cooperation on all levels and stuff like that. It's just feeling great. So I'm very happy with where I am inside about taking I know what it was. It was when we had our discussion, it was all, you know, Brooke and I were finished talking. Bridget, I didn't, it was like, okay, well, that's it. And then it was like, well, we all of us have decided, all of us, it's all agreed upon. And how come I'm not thrilled? How come I'm not, you know, it's just like, okay, it's like, okay, next step, you know, okay, we did that. Now we do the next thing. It's not, it was like, where's the emotion about this? Usually I'm like, but it wasn't any of that. It was just, okay, guess we're going to do this. So now the next thing that's coming up is for me to hold in that space and trusting, because my next few months are very busy. So I'm moving on January. I'm leaving. Actually, I have to tell you all of you about. I'm going on the retreat in December again, and I leave on the 10th and I don't get back till the 18th. So I'm going to miss some dates in there. I don't have my calendar in front of me, but we can talk about that. But anyway, I get back on the 18th. On the 21st, I start a job to the 25th. I have 2 nights at home, and then I'm gone again until like the 18th of Jan, or 18th or something like that of January. So
Whoa.
I get to move in, but I don't get to stay there very long. So this December and January is going to be a roller coaster. But happy we're moving. All that stuck stuff feels like at least it's flowing, you know. At least, oh, how sweet.
That's awesome, Linda. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
And you'll be what'd you say, 6 to 9 months? Do you know yet?
Well, she's so the issue, they live here, have lived here, and they have a condo in Portland, and they've been going to Portland for the summers, you know, and I think they have a daughter that lives there too, or something like that. And so they've been enjoying Portland so much that they want to try the winter and see if they can handle the winter. If they can, if they like it, then they'll just come back to move, to sell the house and move. But if not, so they're going to come back, I guess they're going to come back for the eclipse. So I think that's in April. So they'll be back for about a week or so then. And that's when we'll start deciding whether they're thinking, but they're not going to come, you know, it had mentioned them coming back in June, but they're not going to come back in June.
No.
Well, maybe that's if they're selling their house.
Oh,
and then the other option. So they're saying either June or October. So
cool.
we'll see.
Lots of movement.
Yeah.
Get you out of your room.
Get
Wait
me out of
back up of going back if you decide you want to or not.
Say that again.
And you're leaving your room, which is great,
Right,
with
right.
the option of going back if you want to.
Yes. Right.
But
Exactly.
only conscious choice want to.
Right. Right. Exactly.
Very cool.
And I'm really consciously aware of other things I've put out for next steps in my life or things that I'd like to be doing. And so this 6 months is plenty of time for me to find out how the energy moves toward any of those options. You know, I want to just see what the universe wants. You know, you know what I mean.
Well,
See what gets presented.
that's great.
Thank you for listening. It's a fun story.
Yeah, it's a great story. Yeah. All right, next. I guess it's Nancy. You are unmuted for some reason, and oh, now you muted yourself. There you go.
Oh, it might be because Kitty Bud is on my keyboard right now and doing his thing. Not sure what's going on here. How am I? You know, I'm sitting in the chair this afternoon at 4:45, and I said to Steve, he came in, he says, "You don't mind me going to pickleball tonight, do you?" And I go, "Oh yeah, is that tonight? No, I don't have a problem with that." And all of a sudden I went, "Oh my God, are we having a Zoom call tonight?" Totally oblivious. Totally been living in my own little world or whatever and feeling very kind of, I don't know, not connected. And I went, "Ow." So trust me, you can take a very quick shower in 12 minutes and almost dry your hair. But so anyway, I came back down and, you know, I try to put a finger on where at. First of all, the house is, I'll just say this, I had my decorator, organizer guy over for 2 days. And a good news story is that I've been able to keep up with him energetically on the 4-hour sessions we do. And that's huge. I hurt going up and down the stairs. I hurt, you know, all this. And he does the heavy stuff, you don't kid yourself. But I have kept up with him energetically. Yesterday, I don't normally do 2 days in a row, and today too. And we pretty much finished. We're delayed. It should have all been done the first part of November, but he was exposed to a client who had COVID. Contacted it, said, I don't think you want me to come out there. And I go, well, that's a fact. So anyway, so we're delayed, and there's that little part of me that's ruffled, silly roughly, that goes, I thought this was all going to be done. I had a vision of everything first part of November in my little world. And I thought, well, isn't that silly? You used to go with the flow a lot better. Well, no, I wanted it to be done. So the fact that it's taking a little longer, it's at that little edge of irritation that makes no sense in the scheme of the universe. But I finally decided today, my friend Joni is coming.
Oh, you got muted. You're still muted. We can't hear you. Ever since my friend Joni is coming.
And it keeps wanting to go back into mute. I mean, it's got a mind of its own for some reason. And she's coming in February, so I decided everything's going to stay up until February. I'm going to have all my Christmas stuff. So if you want to come visit everybody, everything's going to stay up. The heck with it. I'm over putting it up, and I certainly don't even want to think about taking it down. So, but I'm going through this stage where I'm attracting friends into my experience that are going through major turmoil, and has to do with addictions, and it has to do with if anybody, that energy, if anybody's been around it, how you can be as supportive as you want, but deep down there's that feeling that says you're never going to meet what their needs are. And this is just at a friend level. And what's good for me is this person regurgitates everything in a flow of consciousness, and they'll do it privately to me, and then they put it on Facebook, and I'm going, just save it for Facebook. Don't tie up my text line, with this. And I go through shifts of being uber supportive and holding the energy for somebody. And the other part is, I just want to turn around and like just slap them just a little bit and say, snap out of it. I want to do Sheriff in Moonstruck or whatever that movie was, where she goes, snap out of it. And then I have these wonderful moments to say, well, aren't you a fine friend? You don't go to judgment at all, do you? So I've been dealing with my own reactions and my own judgments. Maybe that's it, where my mind goes, especially when I don't think I'm judging, but I know I don't feel right inside. So you just told yourself an untruth that your experience. So it's very interesting because and sometimes I have to, I just have to realize I can pull away from it because I'm really not, life or death part of somebody's experience, but except they want it to be. So anyway, I really have had an interesting time, working with my own energy, doing my own inner healing work, trying to come to final terms of not being upset with my body, because in those moments I want to judge it. So it's all coming around about little judgment things, whether it's somebody else's reaction or it's my mind toward my body. And it's healing. I'm wearing a knee brace now because my knee won't hold. And to allow the top part. And Steve says my walk is better than it had been, so it's accomplishing something. But it's so weird. I have this, how you want to sit and you have this absolute open urge, and everything in the universe is in a right and perfect place, and then it's like gnats are kind of swirling around your space, and you just want to go, it's just little gnats or little flies or something. And it's just an interesting time. It's, not to slough it over. It's so you can be so in the midst of being doing work, and I go, the other day I said, well, what the hell happened to your elevating into the higher realms? Where did that go? You know, when did that not become part of this? So I said and worked with some of that. And of course, it's right there. And I go, okay, this human experience for you is so interesting. You do need to heal and get off your ass and get going. You need to get out. So that's me right now. And my kitty, let me tell you, my kitty, who's Mr. I'm going to get you, he just won't leave me. He will not give me space. And this is not who he has normally been. He is just needy and cries a lot during the afternoon times, enough that anybody who's been around animals know if they're in funny. The other day he hopped up on my lap, and I just like he wants to look you deep in the eye. Never his thing. It was always the other kitty's thing. And he does that. And I said to him one day, I'm just going to toss it out there. If it doesn't fit, just ignore it. Are you missing BB? Because it's, tomorrow is the day that he passed. I go, are you missing him? Is there, just like we are, is there something going on? And he just sat for the longest time and held my gaze. He would not break it off. And I go, I'm not wanting to lay this on you if it's not yours, but he just looked, and it was so sad, ugh. And I thought, oh, okay, all right. So everybody's spewing loudly and breathing loudly, and okay, that's just what's going on right now, so that's a little, it's when we talk about what's going on in your life, there's a teeny tiny bit out of all the stuff that flows around you.
Yeah, fascinating though with the 1 year, right? The anniversary moments, yeah. Yeah. All right, thank you. All right, Steve or Kate?
There I go.
Okay, there you go.
I'm trying to think because it feels like an eternity since I was last here. I think I told you last time that we were just going to lay low and skip the wedding and chill. And then we found out that my younger sister, the one that I had all the trouble with during the wedding shower, and that I had like set some clear boundaries on. Yeah, she was in ICU and didn't tell anybody for a few days. And of course she didn't tell anybody for a few days. So then we found out, yeah, she was really, really sick.
Hmm.
So she was having she had pneumonia, exhaustion, AFib, she was septic, she had a kidney infection. I mean, she was sick. So I looked at Shirley and I'm like, we're going to the wedding. We have to go to the wedding. We can't just fake calling in sick when someone's really sick. And then the rest of the family is going to be like freaking out. Oh my God, what? So we went, and I was actually really glad we went. It was beautiful. We just went for the wedding, and then we didn't stay for the reception because it was only like desserts and stuff after. And if we would have stayed too long, it would have been too dark for us to drive home. So we just went to the wedding and got to see everybody, and that was nice. And I videoed parts of it to send to my sister, like the bride walking in and little things like that. And I haven't seen some of my nieces and nephews. Well, I haven't seen Joy since before the coronavirus.
Wow.
And she is now a sophomore in college, and she's all dressed up in her dress as a bridesmaid. She looked gorgeous. I'm like, Joy, you're so grown up. What a dumb thing to say. Of course you're grown up, you know. But so and that went really well. I was kind of worried about it, but it went. I wasn't sure my knees were going to make it all the way into the Catholic Church and back, and but it was fine. So and it was actually delightful in many ways. My sister is now home. I have to keep my hands as far out of it as I can. Her partner is having another bout of cancer, and the two of them kind of live a hoarder's situation, sort of. And they won't let anybody in their house, but they would both qualify easily for some home care services, and they wouldn't have to pay for them. And then Amy wouldn't maybe get as exhausted. you know, and stuff. So I tried to kind of put that out there again. I gave him some numbers. I'm like, you know, you could call these numbers if you're interested. I just thought I'd do the legwork for you. And then my sister-in-law, she jumped in. She's like, thanks for doing that legwork. Boy, if I could have some help in my house, I'd take it, you know, but crickets. But anyway, we don't want that to happen again. The doctor told my brother, who was the person that they finally, this is the story. So she is so sick that her partner's like checking to see if she's still breathing during the night. And she's not even making sense, but she's just, oh, she's still breathing. So the next morning they decide to call the doctor. The doctor says, go to urgent care because he couldn't get her in. Urgent care says, you need to be at the hospital. So Deb takes her to the hospital. So then they're going to check her in, and she decides Amy needs some stuff. So Chris and Judy are at their house. That's my brother and his wife. And they get this phone call from Deb. Yeah, I'm in your driveway. It's like 9 at night. And Deb looks at Judy, looks like she goes, I don't see anybody in the driveway. She goes, yeah, I'm in your driveway. She goes, I'll go to the porch and turn the light on for you. So she goes to the, oh, she goes, you live on such and such a street, right? And Judy says, yeah. So she goes to the porch and turns the light on, and she sees these lights up the street, you know, some multiple houses. So then she drives down and tells Chris that Amy's in the ICU and she needs some stuff. So Deb went to get it, but Deb can't carry it in because she can't walk and carry stuff at the same time. So would Chris please come? And that was on Wednesday before Thanksgiving, and then swore to him not to tell anybody for like a couple of days, which, you know, whatever. So anyway, they're home. I'm keeping my hands off. You know, I hate to watch the train wreck that's happening there, but I have to keep my hands off. So we'll just see what happens. You know, they get to choose. They're grown-ups. So, and I kind of saw one of the reasons why she hates me. It was just so obvious. We sat near the back because I wanted to be able to get good pictures of the people as they were coming in because I wanted to send her little movies. Everyone in my family kept gathering around us. That always happens when we go. They gather around us. They bring and she's always sitting over here glaring at me. And I just was like, look at this. I'm like, here it is. And I just wasn't not really that aware of it, but I was very aware of it that day. And I'm like, and the hair come, you know, I'm like, oh, you know. Anyway, so that's probably one of the problems, but I don't know that I'm responsible to change that. She's a very difficult person to get along with. I understand why people would not want to have to gather around with her too much, but she's better. So then the next Tuesday was Shirley's this big ceremony they were having in town because she won that state award. And it was in the 20s, I just want to tell you. It was in the 20s. Long ass walk up to that place. Made it again, but and I made it more than I thought I would. I'm like, oh, you can do more than you think because you just don't go do it much anymore, which was kind of good news. And guess what, Nancy? We started doing chair yoga because you told me about your sister. So we're both doing it every night. The first night it was like, is this over yet? Now we're getting better and better at it. But I'm trying to cut this short if I can. Shirley's been having a really rough time in the last many months. And it's been a struggle. And like when she was coming back from Connecticut this time, so many things went wrong. And then she's in the airport and she's looking and she reads that this hallway is 10 to 20 and this one's 30 to 40. And she's supposed to go to 14C and she doesn't know what to do. So she just freezes and she's going to call me and have me help her through this, which is what happens. And she finally figured out 14C was her seat number. So she got it. But I get those calls, you know. And I figured out, but it's been really worrisome. But I got to tell you, she got in front of that microphone at that reception and she was magic. I just watched her. I'm like, look at the magic of this woman. Look at the magic. It was so good for me to see again. And it was so good for her to experience again. And it was just made for and it's really brought kind of a nice lightness around a little bit. There isn't so much fear of aging and fear of forgetting things. And her sister died of Alzheimer's. And so that's always a fear. it just really brought a nice lightness to our home. And I was so grateful for that. And her and Carol leave on Friday to take the train to New Orleans to see their friend Amy. So me and the girls are going to hold down the fort again, which we love. And they're so funny because when I'm the only one here, they resort to back when there was just the three of us that lived at our old house before we moved here. And they go into the meditation room and they sleep the entire day. They don't need my attention. They're not like climbing all over me, or they're just like sleep all day. And then they come out at night and they're like, okay. And then we just sit, and they're so quiet. It's just hysterical. And Shirley will say, how are the cats? I'm like, I haven't seen them. But I think we're all three going to have a nice, quiet few days, and that's all good too. So, except that it's really cold, and we weren't ready for that. But it's okay. We're doing share yoga. We're good.
Awesome. Awesome. Thanks, Kate. So much. Everybody has so many, there's so many things. So Steve, yeah.
Well, I can add to the list, I'm sure. I've got a daughter in Chicago who we don't talk every day or so, I mean, it's pretty infrequent, but it's kind of like a connection thing, we know each other, we're pretty much okay and whatever, and we back and forth with text, because that's how our generation tends to communicate as much as any other way. And there had been a couple of weeks that we had not heard anything at all from her, and started getting more and more insistent with our text messages, and finally left her a voicemail that said, look, if I don't hear from you, I'm gonna have the Chicago police come by and do a wellness check and just see that you're okay. Well, a couple of days later, I get a text that says, well, I'm not great, but I'm safe. And can't really use my phone for much of the time right now, but we'll talk later, and hope you had a happy birthday.
Wow.
So, needless to say, that's been on my mind. I've sent her a couple of texts and said, well, we really want to keep up. Do I need to come up to Chicago to, assist or work or whatever you need, and because she's not able to use her phone very often, I'm not getting any sort of response to that. So I just have to hold on to that. I'm safe right now, and whatever that means, and just accept it as the reality that it is. Yeah. So that's kind of there. That's an overwhelming energy that kind of comes through every once in a while. I mean, it's always there, but every once in a while it'll pop to the surface and say, look what's going on now. Wonder. So anyway, that's there. I think that's probably much, the job's still a job. Pickleball is fun and getting better. It's great to see Nancy's walk improving. Noticing the other day, and so I was watching her from behind thinking, yeah, it's coming right along. Looking good, girl. So it's a good mix right now. So it's good to have a mix.
Mhm. And we
I'll leave it
trust
at
you
that
had a
for-
very happy birthday.
Thank you. It was a very nice birthday.
Good.
And we also had an anniversary during that time.
Yes.
Yeah. 31 plus
You're
3.
gonna go for another one, another year anyway?
We thought we'd probably go for it, but at least do another one, and see how it goes from there.
Cool. Yeah. Is that complete?
I loved all the pictures you guys put on Facebook.
Yeah.
They were adorable.
Yeah, one of the four of you was like, wow, that was crazy.
I think Holly's like, oh, thanks, Mom.
That was awesome. Yeah. Yeah, there's
Did you
something
see what
about
somebody-
Annie's I'm safe though, that's like, I mean, I'm sure she
Yeah.
is safe because she would say that, but just that she said that, you go, oh, okay.
Yeah, well, and she probably realized that my thoughts were going to run in wild ass directions because, she's the kind of girl who will run off to Dubai and do parasailing and jumping off buildings and stuff like that. So, just knowing that she's safe is a plus.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm. All right, so what do we want to line up with today? We're coming into the holidays. It's December, if you can believe that. Got many moving parts. So certainly all is well, it is done through all like everybody has something, it feels like. Anything more specific we want to throw in there?
I think, I don't know what it's called, which one it is, but anything that has to do with kind of, I just want to call it, I want to keep the vibration, uplifted. Is that, that's my job, but to have that as and I know we all hold that for each other, but maybe I just need the reminder of a little more grounded and uplifted at the same time. It seems like in the whole universe of things that we're on the planet that we're living in, there is a lot of moving energies, old energies that are, we're watching them play out, and it's tough to watch it. And so just for me is to be able to watch and still hold an uplifted view in the midst. I think that's a phrase I use all the time when I talk to somebody and they say, how are you doing? I go, in the midst. In the midst of really love and good. And then in the midst,
Yeah. Yeah, because not only for each of us, there's a lot of moving parts. The world certainly has a lot of moving parts. So I was looking up that, they have the new MagHealy, which is, I don't know, a year old or something, but it's actually for like the Healy's for personal, like wear it, and keep it on. But the MagHealy they developed for the room. So like you can buy it and it's like for the room that you're in. But they keep adding new I never got one because by then I was getting bored and they were like $3,000 or something. But they've gotten all these programs now on the Resonance app, right? And so they've got the MagHealy Atmosphere program, classic programs, harmonization programs, water activation programs. Those are the four that I have on here. But I was just scrolling a minute ago and they sort of popped. So thinking we could try one of those. I don't even have any idea what they look like or how they show up. I don't think they've got any paragraphs or anything like that, but they'll probably have some names, program names. So you want to try atmosphere programs? That's the one that jumped. That feel all right? Yeah?
Sure.
All right. There's 24 choices in that. So let's just feel into personally, collectively, and for our world, all these changes that are happening, all these things. And we're going to just include Annie today, whatever it is that she calls you, Steve, and says, yeah, well, this is what was going on and I'm good. Oh, thank you. Right. But knowing all is well and it is just done because we continue to quantum shift or quantum leap into miraculous outcomes, individually, collectively in this group, and for our world. So I'm going to do the analysis for the MagHealy Atmosphere programs and see what comes up. First one that comes up is called Family Harmony. Next one that comes up is called workout. Third one is chakra balancing. Next one is eating. And the last one is children playing. Like I said, I have no idea what any of those are. So we can make anything up we want, or we can just receive.
The second one was workout.
Mhm.
Workout. Okay.
All right, so we're a little bit after the hour already. Do you want to go ahead and do 5 minutes, or do you want to start with the 3 and check in and be able to do another one? 3? All right, let's do that. So we will start the vibration. We'll go to 2 minutes and 49 seconds. So just feeling into the outcome of all is well and it is done. And here we go. Take a deep breath in. Notice what you notice. When you're ready, open your eyes. How was that?
Pretty interesting.
Say a
was
little
just,
bit more.
Yeah, I was walking on a mat some sort of mat. I couldn't tell you what the material was, but it was statically charged. So I was like getting a feedback of energy up through my feet as I walked on this mat, which stretched out for quite a ways. And I walked and walked, and next thing I was aware of was like I don't know what to call it, some sort of whirling device. Like you just take your hand and whirl it, like some rattle or something like that, except it was all about energy, throwing off energy, big time energy throwing off. And I walked past that, and I think I'm still on the mat, but I'm not sure. And about the time you say let's come back, there's this guy who's running at me full speed, kind of a shaman-looking character, made out of like glowing, brass glowing, superheated rods, or energetically charged. I'm not sure which. And I knew I didn't go through the full experience, but I knew he was going to run through me. Was the experience that I was experiencing coming, if that makes sense. And so that was what I
Wow.
I'm going to look at that one a little bit more before I understand what's really going on there.
Yeah. Lots of energy anyway.
True.
Yeah, cool. Thank you.
Well, mine was easy, but I felt the energy. I really got into the mantra, and I've been saying it a lot during the night, before I go to bed, when we start unsettledness of and concerns are kind of there with, even if they don't grab your brain and run with it, it's that undercurrent. It's that that if it makes any sense, where it's just unsettled. So I'll say the mantra, and it was right on today. And I felt an energy, and I didn't. Steve, it reminds me of the toy they used to have for kids that, remember, that you'd swirl it like this and it'd make a noise. But mine was an energetic, it was a circular motion. And I was sitting in it, standing, being in it. And I felt, I could see everything I had talked about and everything that's going on. And just from a, not oblivious to it or not feeling it, but just enough detachment, a good detachment of, I am part of it. No, I'll do my part, whatever's asked, but just detachment to see it afar. So it wasn't so, it wasn't a jagged energy at all. It got into a sweet rhythm of the all is done. And I can only say, you guys, you have to remember, this works. This works. And I just keep going back to that, this works. So that's what mine was.
Awesome. Very cool.
Mine it was a lot of thoughts. So it was thinking about, I remember recognizing how all of these different subjects, like family harmony, certainly that's going on in my family with my mom, and the travels coming up, and my younger brother, he lives in Alaska, and he's the one that didn't get to come last year, and so he really wants to come this year, but he hasn't been able to walk, and he didn't know why, and they've just finally taken all this time he got a diagnosis of osteopenia and osteoporosis, and some of his discs have been crushed, and he didn't know when or how or anything like that, but that's what's been keeping him from being able to pick it up on his own and stuff like that. So so there's a lot of stuff we still want him to, hoping he can come for this April's birthday. So anyway, family stuff and the workout stuff, and I'm just realizing, so chakras, I'm certainly seeing how myself, looking for the balancing, and eating, I've been aware of how I've been dealing with all this anxious energy, and when I do that, I eat a lot, and I've been eating a lot of things that I've been away from for a long time, like sugar, and just loving the sugar again. And it doesn't feel like it's hurting me too much, but I wonder. And so what's come up for me with all of those thoughts was the awareness of it not being outside, but it being inside me, like the healing, the eating thing is really about working with that little girl inside. That's the way she nurtures herself, and just being more, asking for more clarity about working the levels inside me rather than what I'm seeing outside of me.
Very cool. Lots of layers there for you.
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
Got it. I too started out with our mantra. It's when I remember to just say that at any time, at any place, it just makes everything go. It really does. So there I was, and then I was, my mind was kind of wandering all over the place, and then you said it was time. So I really couldn't tell you any more than that. I guess it must have quit wandering. When I was thinking to myself, why is your mind wandering? Then it quit. But all is well, and it is done. Did come then completely in and visit, and I hope it stays a while. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah. And the truth is, it does stay a while and it's ever accessible. We don't have to wait till we come together to activate it. And for me, that time I had lots of moving thoughts in my brain too, lots of thoughts moving around. But it was like the moving parts sort of came off, like from center to just sort of drifted off and just came back, just come back to center, just come back. It's almost like, it seems like the last few times I've had like the merry-go-round kind of experience. And it was like the stuff on the edges just could disappear to come right back to all is well, and it is done. Yeah. All right, we are right at time. So what is your preference? You want to do another minute, 37 seconds? You want to jump off? Steve's got to go to pickleball.
I'm feeling pretty good.
It brings him such joy.
I know, I love that.
I do too. I do
I
too.
love that, yeah. All right, next week I've got a board meeting, so we'll see.
No.
I know. We could go a little bit later, but it bumps up against Steve's pickleball, so I don't know. how that works.
Yeah, I know.
But then in 2 weeks is the 19th, so we'll be on definitely on the 19th.
Yeah.
Okay. And when do you leave for Ohio?
Oh, Thursday morning, like
Okay.
early morning.
Pretty soon though.
Yeah, and I have a full day training tomorrow, and then I leave Thursday and back Monday, and then it'll start to resettle a little bit.
So I just want to say, so the 12th is when I'll be in California, and then the 19th will be my first day back. So that'll be great. I'm only missing one day, not two.
Well, you won't miss the 12th because we won't be together.
Right. So there we go.
There we go.
There we
Perfect.
go.
Yay.
All right, well, stay in touch, y'all.
Love you guys.
Thanks,
Love
everybody.
you.
Love you.
Love you all. Bye-bye.